Welcome to A Guide to Every Deck in EDH. And today we're looking at Malcolm partner decks. So this one is specifically Malcolm paired with Vial Smasher, but it doesn't have to be specifically Vial Smasher. You can pair Malcolm up with any partner as long as that partner is red, because the main combo piece that goes with Malcolm is a red card. So what does Malcolm do? It is 3 mana 2/2 flyer. Whenever one or more pirates you control deal damage to your opponents, you create a treasure token for each opponent dealt damage this way. Or for each opponent dealt damage. So it can pair up with Vial Smasher, it can pair up with Tana the Bloodsower, it can pair up with Ketis. Again, it doesn't really matter. The big parts are going to be that you want the partner to be red, and then potentially you'll play it for the other colors. So in this case, Vial Smasher gives us black, which gives us access to cards like Adnaz, Peer into the Abyss, but it doesn't, strictly speaking, have to be Vial Smasher. And then the rest of the deck is actually pretty straightforward. We got a bunch of card draw spells, including Wheels. We've got our combo cards, our typical combo cards. We got Console Oracle here. We've got Underworld Breach, LED Brain Freeze, bunch of counter spells, bunch of fast mana, bunch of lands, Deflecting Swat, bunch of ramp, including treasure-based stuff like Dockside, Grim Hireling, and Professional Facebreaker, a bit of reanimation, a bit of removal, a bit of stacks, a bunch of tutors. This is going to be all the typical stuff that you're going to find in any given EDH deck. Your tutors, your card draw, your stacks, your removal, your ramp cards. The main combo to note that Malcolm gives you access to is Glinthorn Buccaneer. So Glinthorn Buccaneer is triple red, or rather it's 1 red, so 3 mana, 2/4 with haste. Whenever you discard a card, Glinthorn Buccaneer deals 1 damage to each opponent, and it's got 1 in a red, discard a card, draw a card, activate only if Glinthorn Buccaneer is attacking. So the main combo that we're going to want between Glinthorn and Malcolm is that Malcolm generates a treasure whenever we deal an opponent damage, and we deal an opponent damage whenever we discard a card, and we can discard a card to draw a card. So if we have a Malcolm in play, we attack with Glinthorn, and then during the attacks, at any point while we're still in combat and Glinthorn is attacking, we activate his ability to discard a card, we draw a card, he deals 1 damage to each opponent. This triggers Malcolm, and since the damage from the pirates is any damage, not just combat damage, we'll make 3 treasures. We can then use 2 of those treasures to pay for Glinthorn's ability, activating it again, drawing a card, or discarding a card, drawing a card, triggering Glinthorn, dealing 1 damage to each of our opponents. And so we deal infinite damage. Well, we don't deal technically infinite damage. We deal as much damage as the amount of cards that we can draw, but since we're playing a 100 card deck and our opponents have 40 life, this will kill them. So there isn't really too much differentiating Malcolm decks from other decks. Like, again, if you look at all of the card draw spells here, if you look at all the counter spells, the fast mana, the lands, this is all the typical stuff that you would see in a Grixis Adnaz deck. Or if we weren't playing Vial Smasher and we were playing something else, it would be all the typical cards that you would see in an Izzet deck or a Teamer deck. The main deal here is just the Glinthorn combo. It is the best combo in the deck, outside of maybe Console Oracle, and it's one that's pretty easy to execute. The only restrictions on it are that we have to have both Malcolm and Glinthorn in play at the same time, and we have to be able to attack. So obviously it gets disrupted if our opponent has any instant speed removal spell that can kill one of our guys before we attack with Glinthorn, or if our opponent has a stacks effect that prevents us from drawing extra cards, like they have a Shieldred, Orcish Bowmasters, Narset Part of Veils, etc., then we can't just keep drawing. But other than that, that is the main combo. And that's really all I have to say about Malcolm. Like, again, the rest of the deck is just pretty generic. It's all the same stuff you'd expect as normal in these kind of decks. But I do think that this specific combo is pretty interesting, so I wanted to highlight that. So that's going to wrap up Malcolm partner decks.